Have you ever felt unheard in a relationship? Like your voice didn't matter? That's exactly how Kelly felt as her relationship with Shawn turned from love into a quiet battle for control. But what happens when two people who love each other realize that love alone isn't enough? Keep watching to discover how Shawn and Kelly's struggle almost tore them apart, and how they found their way back to each other. Shawn and Kelly had been together for 5 years. On the outside, they seemed like the perfect couple. Vacations in scenic places, romantic date nights, and matching coffee cups. Friends admired how in sync they seemed. But beneath the picture-perfect surface, a hidden struggle was brewing, one neither of them wanted to admit. It started with the little things. Shawn, always the planner, liked to take charge. If there was a decision to be made, he made it. Whether it was which movie to watch or how they spent their weekends, to him, it was a sign of love, taking the weight off Kelly's shoulders. But for Kelly, those little things added up. Each decision Shawn made without asking chipped away at her sense of independence. She had always been someone who stood on her own 2 feet. Yet lately, it felt like she was living in the shadow of his choices. It was a rainy Saturday afternoon when the tension first bubbled over. Kelly had planned a quiet day at home, hoping to catch up on a new book. But as she curled up on the couch, Shawn walked in, jingling car keys. "Get dressed," he said, grinning. "I booked us a wine tasting tour." Kelly blinked, her smile fading. "You what?" "I figured you'd love it," he said, missing the frustration in her voice. "A surprise." A sharp pang of irritation pierced through her chest. She hadn't asked for a surprise. She wanted to rest. "You didn't think to ask first?" she murmured. Shawn's face fell. "I was trying to do something nice." "It's not that I'm ungrateful," she sighed. "But don't my plans matter too?" Over the next few months, these small clashes grew into unspoken battles. When they went out with friends, Shawn spoke for both of them, choosing their drinks, answering questions. At home, he made decisions about their apartment without consulting her. And every time Kelly tried to voice her feelings, Shawn brushed it off. "You worry too much," he said. "I'm just making life easier." But for Kelly, it didn't feel easier. It felt suffocating. One night, as they lay in bed, the silence between them felt heavier than usual. Kelly stared at the ceiling, her heart pounding with questions she was too afraid to ask. Was this how love was supposed to feel? The breaking point came during a dinner with Shawn's family. Kelly had been nervous all week, hoping to make a good impression. But from the moment they arrived, Shawn took over. "She's been working on a new project at work," he said proudly. "I told her she should pitch it to her boss." Kelly forced a smile, but her stomach twisted. She hadn't even decided if she wanted to pitch it yet. When they got home, the words she'd held back for months spilled out. Why do you always speak for me? Her voice shook with anger and pain. Shawn blinked in confusion. What are you talking about? I feel like I don't have a voice, Kelly said, her hands trembling. It's like my opinions don't matter. His face hardened. I do all this for us, Kelly. Can't you see that? Tears welled in her eyes. But you're not listening. You're deciding for me instead of with me. For the first time, Shawn realized that his need to lead had turned into something else. Control. The days that followed were cold. They barely spoke. Kelly spent more nights working late, avoiding the silence at home. Shawn buried himself in projects, telling himself he was only trying to protect their relationship. But late one night, while scrolling through old pictures, Shawn paused on a picture from their first vacation together. Kelly's laughter was frozen in time. Her joy was so genuine. He couldn't remember the last time she'd smiled like that. And that's when it hit him. Somewhere along the way, he'd stopped seeing Kelly as his partner, started treating her like a puzzle to solve. The next morning, Shawn found Kelly in the kitchen. I've been thinking, he began, his voice softer than it had been in weeks. I didn't realize how much I've been controlling things. Kelly looked up surprised. Why now? Because I love you, he said quietly. And love isn't about winning. It's about us. I want to listen. Really listen. Tears slipped down her cheeks. After months of feeling unheard, his words cracked open the wall around her heart. They didn't fix everything overnight, but step by step, they rebuilt trust. They created space for both voices to matter. Shawn learned to ask instead of assume. Kelly found the courage to speak without fear. One evening, while watching the sunset, Kelly slipped her hand into his. We're better when we're a team, she said softly. And for the first time in a long time, Shawn felt peace, not from being in control, but from letting go and meeting Kelly halfway. Power struggles aren't about who's in charge. They're about finding balance. True love means both voices matter. Have you ever felt unheard in a relationship? Share your story in the comments, and let's encourage each other to embrace our self-worth. Together, let's move from doubt to power, one story at a time.